Once upon a time, high up in the mountains, there was a little village nestled between rolling hills and sparkling rivers. It was a peaceful place where life moved at its own slow, deliberate pace. The villagers lived simple lives, tending to their fields, raising their animals, and gathering in the town square to share stories and laughter under the starlit sky. One day, a traveler stumbled into the village, his clothes torn and his face etched with exhaustion and worry. He went from house to house, seeking shelter and food. But each time he was turned away, told to keep moving, because he had nothing to offer in return. As the sun began its descent and the shadows grew longer, the traveler felt despair creeping in. He had journeyed far and had almost reached his destination when a sudden storm had forced him off the path and into the mountains. Now lost and hungry, he feared he might not make it through the night. Just when his hope was fading, he heard the gentle strumming of a harp. He followed the sound until he came across a small cottage bathed in the warm glow of lamplight. On the porch sat an old woman, her wrinkled hands gracefully plucking the strings of her harp, as if she were weaving magic into the very air around them. Hesitantly, the traveler approached her. Despite his weariness, he couldn't help but smile. The music had a calming effect on him, soothing the turmoil within. When the old woman noticed him, she stopped playing and regarded him with kind eyes that twinkled like distant stars. "Welcome," she said, her voice as melodious as her harp. "You look tired and hungry. Come in, rest, and share a meal with me." Overwhelmed with gratitude, the traveler accepted her invitation. He stepped inside and found warmth and comfort that went beyond the crackling fire in the hearth. As they ate, the traveler shared his tale of woe, the harsh words of the villagers echoing in his ears. The old woman listened patiently, her gaze unwavering. When he finished, she spoke in a soft, understanding voice. "You are not to blame, child. The world can be a hard and unforgiving place, and sometimes people build walls around their hearts to protect themselves. But you must understand that true strength lies in compassion and kindness, not in judging and rejecting those who are different or struggling." Her words resonated deep within him, touching the part of him that still believed in goodness. After resting, the traveler felt rejuvenated. The old woman's kindness had warmed his heart and given him strength. Before leaving, he looked back at the cottage, a newfound determination in his eyes. "Thank you," he called out. "I will carry your lesson with me and try to make the world a better place." And with that, he set off down the mountain path. Now, from that day forward, the traveler made it his life's mission to emulate the old woman's kindness. He treated everyone with warmth and respect, regardless of their background or struggles. He helped those in need, offering a listening ear and a helping hand. Years passed, and the traveler, now older and wiser, continued to spread kindness wherever he went. He visited the village occasionally, hoping to see the old woman again. But the cottage remained empty, and the only sound that greeted him was the rustling of leaves in the wind. He searched for her in the town square, asking if anyone had seen her, but all he received were puzzled looks and shakes of the head. It was as if she had vanished into thin air, leaving not a trace behind. He missed her and wondered about her, often thinking back to her twinkling eyes and the gentle melody of her harp. The memory of her kindness had become a beacon guiding him through the challenges of life. And he couldn't help but wonder if she too thought of him. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, the traveler decided to climb the mountain once more. He wanted to see her again, even if it meant going into the unknown. He had a feeling that something important awaited him at the top. The journey was long and arduous, but his determination kept him going. When he finally reached the clearing where the cottage had stood, his heart sank. There was no sign of the old woman or her cozy abode. The only evidence that it had ever been there was a weathered stone hearth, half hidden by overgrown grass and moss. Disheartened, he sat down beside it, letting the silence envelop him. Suddenly, a gentle voice broke the quiet. "Looking for me?" Startled, the traveler turned around, and there she was, the old woman, looking exactly as he remembered. Her eyes filled with warmth, and her lips curved into a knowing smile. Relieved and overjoyed, he rushed to her, asking 1,000 questions, wanting to know every detail of her life. She listened patiently, then took his hand in hers, her touch sending a jolt of electricity through him. "Child, you have carried my lessons well. Your kindness has touched countless lives, and I am proud of the man you have become." Her words echoed the sentiments he had long held, the belief that kindness was the most powerful force in the world. "But why did you leave?" he asked, his voice thick with emotion. "Because it was time," she replied, her gaze distant, as if seeing something beyond the trees. "My work here is done. It was never about me. It was always about you and the others who needed my help. You are the lanterns, my child, and it is your light that will continue to guide those lost in darkness." Confused, he pondered her words. "What do you mean? How are we lanterns?" The old woman's smile widened, and she gestured to the sky. "Look, child, look," she said softly. He turned his gaze upwards, and in that moment the clouds parted, revealing a sky filled with stars. It was as if the heavens themselves were on display, shimmering with an otherworldly glow. And then it hit him. The old woman wasn't just a part of his life. She was a guiding light, a beacon of hope that had shown him the way to be a better human being. He understood now that he, and others like him, who had been touched by her kindness, were the lanterns she spoke of. They were the ones who would carry on her legacy, spreading warmth and light to those in need. As dawn approached, bathing the mountain in hues of pink and gold, the old woman vanished, leaving the traveler with a sense of peace and purpose. He knew that while her physical presence may be gone, her spirit would forever be with him. And so, the traveler descended the mountain, his heart brimming with gratitude. He knew he had a responsibility now, a responsibility to be a light for others, to be a lantern in the darkness. And as he walked, he could almost hear the old woman's voice echoing in his ears, saying, "You are the lanterns, my child. It is your light that will continue to guide those lost in darkness." And he knew that as long as he held on to her teachings, he would never walk in darkness again.